I wanted to talk about tonight. Specifically, I wanted to talk about it tonight while the energy is still here, because it was absolutely incredible. Hang on, I need to get something to warm myself up with. Okay. So, I want to talk about my experience tonight at ecstatic dance, which was absolutely incredible. I ended up spontaneously just seeing this post on Instagram saying that ecstatic dance was on tonight in Newtown. I had never been before. I've been to ecstatic dance, but not to the one in Newtown before. And because I live on the Central Coast, like, it's a bit of a mission for me to get to Newtown, but there was just something about it that I felt like I really needed to go. I needed to move my body. I didn't want to be at home by myself. I wanted to be out and amongst people and to be moving my body, dancing, and just being in the energy. And so I did. I drove down to Newtown, got a last minute ticket, and I thought that the doors were going to close on me, and thankfully that they didn't. But I get in and the music is already playing, everyone's on the floor already, and I put all my things down and I immediately just get onto the dance floor, and I feel a little bit awkward because I've gone by myself. I'm not a stranger to going to things by myself. I actually do that a fair bit. But this was somewhere completely new, completely spontaneously, and I also wasn't 100% sure if I should go, because I was like, oh, I've just come out of training and doing all this expansion work, and I don't know if like mingling in with the energies was going to be okay. But before I went in, I actually set some boundary protection for myself and called in my guides and my spirit team, and just, I mean, they already knew what was going on, but just to talk to them some more and just to offer some more support and just bring down some more light and really anchor into that light before I went in. And I felt amazing. It was such a beautiful experience. It was exactly what I needed. And I got downloads while I was dancing and shifting the energy, moving the energy and moving things around. And I became really clear about a couple things, and I want to touch on those few downloads that came through, because they're so important. So important, because as I am on this journey of really stepping into my true, authentic feminine, this is a part of the process. And tonight, I fully embodied the woman that I judged years ago. And this was an absolute profound moment as I was on the dance floor and I was moving and just like taking up space and not giving two shits what anyone thought of me and how I looked and how I was moving my body and the way that my arms were flailing and my hair was going wild and my hips were shaking and, you know, I was shimmying and just like owning my body, owning my expression, owning who I am, and not having a single flying fuck about what anyone else thought of it. And that was the most liberating experience that I have had in a really long time. And I got that specifically by going out and fucking dancing. I didn't get that feeling of embodiment in a specific ritual or a ceremony or an activation. It was me just living my life, going out, wanting to dance, having a dance and just dropping in like that. And so there's something to be said about bringing magic into the mundane, bringing the spiritual into the everyday, because it's intertwined all the time, all the time. This reality that we live, the everyday, like, it is spiritual when you choose to see it that way. The more I see, the more I witness, the more I see. Another download that I got was, there were a couple songs that came on tonight and they reminded me so much of when I used to go raving. When I was younger. And when I used to go raving, I would be intoxicated with substances or with alcohol. And I remember going raving and just dancing all night long and just feeling so free. So free. But the freedom came at a price, because I had to ingest something. I had to go into an altered state in order to feel that free. I needed to be on party drugs, or I needed to drink alcohol and bring myself into a state where I was so altered that, of course, I wasn't going to care what anyone else thought about me. Of course, I wasn't going to worry about how people perceived me. I needed to be so disembodied in order to feel that liberation, in order to feel that freedom. And tonight, when those songs, some of those songs, like not the exact same songs that I would go raving to, but the same kind of sound with like that really heavy bass, and it was just like pumping. And I remember tonight just like dancing in the exact same way that I would dance at these raves, and feeling the exact same way when I was intoxicated. But I was completely sober tonight. And I didn't care how anyone else saw me, what they thought about me, whether I was too much. Who does she think she is? She thinks she's all that. Look at the way that she's moving. I'm sure she's just trying to get someone else's attention. Ugh, she's too much. She's being extra. And these are all of the things that I used to think about other women when I would see them in their liberated expression, in their unapologetic rawness, in their wild, untamed feminine, not giving a fuck. Like, I would judge these women. I did judge these women. And the truth of the matter is that I was so wounded in my feminine. I envied them. And I was masking that envy with judgment. And I own that now. Previously, I would have shoved it to the side and be like, no, no. I'm not jealous. I don't want to be jealous of that. There is something wildly raw and magnetic about a woman who is unapologetic in her expression. Tell me, when you see a woman walk down the street like she fucking owns it, you cannot help but keep looking. Right? Like, there is something about her. It's not, I mean, it can be what she's wearing. That's part of it, right? But it's not about what she's wearing. It's about the way that she's holding herself, the way that she's carrying herself, the energy behind everything. And tonight I became her. I became her. I became the woman who was too much, who was taking up space, who was unapologetic in her expression, who was shaking my hips and shaking my hair, my head around and not giving a flying fuck. And it was incredible. It was absolutely incredible. I have done a lot of work to get to where I am. A lot of work to get to where I am, and I'm so fucking proud of myself. If I can do it, you can do it. I know that that's said like all the time, but like it's true. It is true. It is true. Tonight was such a profound moment of healing for me. And it was just so amazing. It was so incredible. Like just being there and being surrounded by all of these strangers, feeling my most authentic, liberated self. And allowing them to see me as my most authentic and liberated self, and not feeling like I needed to hide, or feeling like I had to perform, or feeling like I needed to be someone that I wasn't. I was just me. I was just me, and they got to see me as me. And I wasn't shunned. I wasn't blamed. I wasn't shamed. I wasn't judged. And it was such a healing experience. So I feel like there's so many little like key takeaways in this message, and that's why I really wanted to share it. That's why I really wanted to talk to you about it, because take it from me. Take it from me on this healing journey, knowing that sometimes the healing isn't in the ceremony. Sometimes the healing isn't in the ritual. Sometimes it's in the everyday, in the day-to-day. Sometimes it's in the dancing and feeling the music move through your body. And it's in the quietening. I don't know if that's a word, but it's in the quietening of your very loud mind. At least my mind for sure can be very loud and very judgy. And then when you do the work to become your own best friend, and to become your own cheerleader, and to become your own gardener of the garden that is your mind, you start to really embody the woman that you've always been. Oh, it was incredible. It was so incredible. More expression, more unapologetic expression, more dancing, more liberation, more you, more me, more authenticity.